He is the CEO of Reentry Strategies out of New York. He's also the author of Changing Your Game Plan. And he will be showing his documentary as well during this process. And then we're going to start discussing some of his key points that's in the documentary. Okay.
So you hear that, Philly Hot Radio listeners? We have a whole itinerary of people coming by talking about different aspects of reentry. You got vendors, you have social service providers, you have some potential employers there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, there's something.
From one
missing, and we got food.
Yeah, 1 to 5.
1 to 5. And
5.
After the Randy does his part, it's going to be a form panel-ish type of conversation. You know, with panels, sometimes you got the bigger I, small me. But with what I'm trying to do different is everybody's going to be having their voice. Right. Everybody's voices count. So integrating their thought process and make it matter is one of the goals that I'm doing.
That's what I'm talking about. And see, that's the thing. When we used to have our meetings in a circle, so there was no, and when I was a guest speaker, I used to always sit among the people until I was called. I had to go up front, but and I think one of the things that get us is leadership. We don't have any servants. You know, I'm a foot washer. I wash feet. I'm not going to be the leader. Like when Jesus said, if I don't wash your feet, you know.
I'm not washing anybody's feet, but okay.
Yeah, I don't mean that literally, people.
Yeah, not literally. Yeah, I barely want to wash mine.
In other words, I believe in serving. So
I understand.
And that's the way.
A servant leader.
Look, you can just lead a leader out, because if I'm serving, as long as I'm serving and taking people, advancing some people, I don't need to lead. I can just, look, you lead, you go ahead, and let me help this brother, let me help that sister, because that's how the shit move forward. You need a breeze. I want to be the breeze.
But good brother, because I do have a leadership degree.
That's fine. I forgive you.
But understand that a lot of good leaders lead from behind. So, so you are a leader.
And a lot of good servants
and to emulate, right? That's right. Because people are looking at you too, even if you're behind, to emulate how you respond to X, Y, and Z.
Well, to me, my whole thing is impact.
Hey.
Impact. How have I impacted? So even in my writings, if I'm not giving, that's why I don't do crime. If I'm not giving them something they can take out and say, feel hopeful, feel some sense of relief, feel like they need to write something down and take a note, I haven't written anything. So, but anyway, so this conference, you could have done a lot of things. You're a doctor. You could have went anywhere you wanted. You could have got your degree and said, "Hey, I'm taking it out of the hood now. I can make me some big money." You stayed and continued doing this work, and you continue doing this work among what the Bible calls the least of these. Simple question: why?
I'm always trying to be the better version of myself. Okay, and one of the reasons we as Christians or God-fearing people are commissioned to help others. That's part of what we're commissioned to do. So because I am also a youth advocate, putting that with the recidivism only made sense. Now that doesn't mean I don't have dream or aspirations, or I won't do this or I won't do that in other areas, but this is one of my passions. Trying to make someone else's life have a better quality of life. So
now, when you were going through school, and school is no easy thing. That's to get your doctorate in whatever field it is. That's a tedious process. Did you always aspire to this, or was this something that evolved throughout your educational process?
Well, I started going to school when I was, college and stuff, early on, and there was a big gap in between. And one of the reasons why it stopped, way back then, I allowed someone, a professor actually, to discourage me. And so because of that, me getting discouraged, I stopped going to school.
You got to tell us that story. He just gonna say
he got discouraged,
and he ain't gonna tell us what the professor did or said.
Well,
wow.
I did this was quite some years ago when you had to write your papers out. And or when they, when the computers had the green, the green letters.
Oh, okay.
Remember that? Oh, you don't remember?
That's old.
That's old. Now y'all don't remember that?
That's
The old IBM. Okay. Anyway, yes, and the computer came all in one piece, that kind of thing. So I did a paper, and the professor ripped it to shreds, and it just happened to be a African American, ripped it to shreds, and female emasculated me in the process by her tone, her words, and it just was like someone that you admired just tore you down just to
So you looked
because
up
they
to this
could.
professor.
I did, and
So what would you say her words? What did she say as she was shredding your hard work up like it was so much trash?
She didn't like the topic that I chose, and she didn't like what I was saying in the paper, so she just made it like it was very ghetto, or was it, it wasn't up to where her standards were, and why would I even write this type of paper, and so on and so forth.
Really?
Yeah.
You mind if I ask you what the paper?
You are investigating journalist, right? No, I won't say what it was. And probably I can't remember what it was.
Oh, okay.
I just remember with the after fact. So it discouraged me. And so, often are some of our young people get that want to learn in schools today can get discouraged by a teacher.
Yes.
And then they, just go into they start to hate school. Some people have that issue. And I stopped.
One famous example is...
I finished high school. This was college.
He want to make that clear.
Yes.
This was college.
Yes.
This was
But
college.
it does happen a lot in high school.
It
Malcolm
does.
X talks about it in his autobiography, the autobiography of Malcolm X, how he was discouraged. A teacher did something.
And I'm out.
Yeah.
And they seem to think that some of these youth drop out because they can't read and or write, and it's not the case. It's just you don't have that teacher to motivate them. Instead, you have them to discount them. So who am I going to believe? You
Well,
know?
I'm going to tell you a little bit. One of the things that probably in that paper, I used to be the run-on sentence king. So she just thought that was the plorable, So that was one of the reasons.
She had a teaching moment there where she
Yes.
could have led you further on, because the run-on sentence is a common thing. That's
You
to
just
this
keep
day.
going on.
But that was a teachable moment where she could have actually
could have.
led you to another level, and instead she decided she was going to sink your ship altogether.
And she did. And
Yes,
I allowed that. But years later, I realized you can't let nobody have that much control over you.
Right.
And so I went back and never had a problem since.
Right.
And then I elevated that from there. Then I kept going and I kept going.
Have you ever seen that professor since that time?
I have not.
No?
I have
What would
not.
she like to know the
I have
outcome?
not.
Yeah, see that you
Of
got your
the
doctor
outcome of her
now,
discouragement.
You're leading organizing conferences.
Yes.
You know.
His degrees. And he finished high school. He finished high school. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I also, I have another story about a professor. But this professor was, my dissertation was on unlocking the power of emotional intelligence with reentry and community leaders. African American. If you know, it's not much work study on that particular subject. So most of it's on the Caucasian or female. So I added to the work. One particular professor grilled me to change the topic because she did not feel that was appropriate in some fashion or form. But she was an African American, though.
And was this the same college
It's all
Two
in.
different.
No, it's a different college.
I was gonna say because we're gonna have to leave college. Yeah, it's that college.
They have all of these subjective ideologies and try to impose them onto you and then restrict. That's one thing I liked about when I was in college is, look, you choose your topic and you just have to defend it.
Yes.
We may not like it,
But you
just
defend
have
it.
to defend it, and you have to defend it according to the criteria established.
You'd be surprised with people put their personal views on certain people. You see that on Facebook all the time. Everybody's putting their opinion on something, and you find some people, you come across some people, and everything you do is negative, or everything they say is negative, or this person not doing this, or this, society is something to laugh at these days.
Something like that, period, yeah. After this conference, the conference, and of course we don't want to move through the conference too fast because it didn't happen yet, and we wanted to have a long, lingering effect.
Lasting.
All right.
So we're going to make sure that after this conference. But what do you look forward to in the future? I mean, I know your attention right now is on that conference,
Mm-hmm.
but down the line, 5, 10 years from now, what do you envision for yourself, your career? What do you like to see yourself doing?
Continuing to work in some fashion or form, but also elevating myself in that process.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a book.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's going to, continue to better myself. Whether it be in a corporate world or not corporate world. I'm always trying to better myself. So if I'm trying to. I can't tell this person you could do this or you can do that if I'm not even trying
Right.
to do,
Right.
So, they'll look at you like,
Collectively, if we were to take those people who have the ex-offenders, returning citizens, all of these names that we give them, but people who have done the time and they're released now or soon to be released, and we were to speak to them, and you were to speak to them collectively as one, and I know that's a stretch, but we will stretch our imagination for this one. What, if any, message would you like to give that one collective person? Like, what did you really want people who are facing the I guess all that's entailed in reentry? What is it you would like? If there's one or two messages you would share with them, what would they be?
don't give up. If you are really trying to strive to change your life, now everybody's not the same, but if you're trying to strive to change your life, then you can't give up, because society's going to look at you backwards anyway because you may have been incarcerated. But everybody that's been incarcerated is not incarcerated for the same thing. You may have somebody that couldn't pay the child support that's been in jail. Well, they're part of the reentry program. So you're going to you can't throw them in the same category all the time as everybody else because they didn't do the same thing. However, people do that. So if he's trying to say, look, I'm trying to pay my this, or I'm trying to do that, or I'm trying to help my and he's trying, then don't give up. You can't give up. It's going to be hard. Life is hard, but yet still you rise.
Now
It's kind of hard for somebody that been incarcerated. You come out, you get hit with all these obstacles, and my first thought is, I think I might want to go back.
Yeah.
Some people think that way.
Yeah, they do. As the mindset is, yeah.
And when I was doing some of my studies, some of the reentry citizens during the study stated that they felt that incarceration or prison or whatever, however they called it, was like a modern day slavery. So they all said they didn't want to go back, but life can give you challenges, and you'll double think something and make the wrong decision, and you right back in the same situation. Then you may have a PO that's not liking you. So whatever, you blink wrong and they ready to send you back. And it may not been, or someone, could start a fight with you, and you just, cause you in that environment, there you go. It's a rough road. It's a rough road.
And what I'm going to say is, as somebody who's been on both sides of the fence, is if you get an opportunity, and then I have another question I want to ask you, of course. But if you get an opportunity, because there's one guy I just helped. I ain't gonna say his name. God knows. I hope I never see him. And he just came out. He's 46 years old, and age is significant because at certain ages,
You should stop doing the same
you should
thing.
just stop.
Yeah.
This guy's going from place to place. I even hooked him up with a place. Gave him $200 to get his life together to help him because he didn't have all that he needed. And of course, he absconded without paying the rent. And he's the third person that I helped. Came out and they got the good game. And I'm gonna tell you, parole officers, a lot of times you put them on this hierarchy, you think they're really intelligent. They're not. Some of them really aren't all that bright because when you hear him, the parole officer say, well, he just used people who tries to help him. I said, oh, you know that. So he says, nothing we can do because now the rules is you can't just lock him back up. But why is this an alternative between stopping him from doing what he's doing and supervising? That's what it's called, parole supervision. So you supervise him enough to check the behavior. So what I'm saying is this. You brothers and sisters that come out and get an opportunity, there are lifers I know inside the prison who will never get this opportunity. I'm telling you now, I'm going to see you in a whole different way if you get these opportunities and you grow. You take advantage of this. The world is already closing doors for the brothers and sisters in prison. Don't be one of the reasons that they do. But I'm going to ask you a question that, now we spoke about what you would say to the brothers and sisters coming out. Who trying to avoid the stigma of recidivism. What would you say to society? Society, when they come out, they have to come out someplace. Society has this world view about people who've been in prison, et cetera, et cetera. Some more liberal, some more conservative. What would you say to society in general as it relates to returning citizens?
Well, I'm totally a believer in second chances, but it starts with the mind first. That person has to change their thought process or they're going to be right back in the same situation. They guys got to remember second chances. People need second chance to at least try to be better versions of themselves. You're not going to save everybody. You're not going to be able to help everyone. But those that want to, you got to help.
Yeah, because they all speak the rhetoric. Like they know the right things to say to get help. And then you help them.
No, I have an issue because I was talking about this. I was just pretty much just stalling. But I found that when I did my paper back in the early 90s on recidivism, that there's no preparation for when they need to come, when they're being released into society. So what happens is, I used to hear people say, oh, that doesn't affect me because they live, whatever the person resided, wherever the crime took place or that person's in jail, it's like, okay, I'm in a different state. And I had the hardest time trying to get people to understand that everything affects everybody. If that person's closest relative they have to be released to just happens to be in your state, that person is coming to your state. Mind you now, whatever crime they did in that prior state, they may deal in your state, but my biggest issue is that knowing they're going to be released, no one is preparing them. How do you fill out a resume? How do you, whatever it is they need to be, like, they are coming out. What happens is I'm going in, and when I go in, I'm meeting people who don't have nothing to lose. So I'm already now starting to lose some of my values. I'm picking up some of your mess, and then I'm incorporating them, and then I am now going to be released back into society with, if I'm not getting some sort of therapy or some sort of training, I'm coming out with that person's mentality attached to me. So now, here's the thing, I do something again because I can't cope with me, with them attached, if I'm making sense, and then I
Yes.
do something to go back in. So I have an issue with people that are being incarcerated, and I get it. You do the crime, you have to do the time. I get that. But if these people are going to be released, you prepare them because they're going to come back out. They're the ones that's going to knock your grandma, unfortunately, upside the head if you don't help them so they don't go back in and be a positive part of society.
I want to, claim to profess to be able to be the do-all, say-all, or that I know everything, because I don't, and that I can help everyone. My niche, that the people that I want to, focus on, are the juveniles that had nonviolent crimes,
Okay.
or doing nonviolent stuff, but they keep going back to, and it's a cycle, is to help them, try to have a better version of, themselves. So, there's definitely a more quality of life out there, and they have to see that. You don't have to sell drugs to have a better quality of life. You have to knock nobody in the head or hold them up to have a better quality of life. Those are short-term things that usually have bad consequences and bad results. And my heart goes out to the family, this young man that just got shot in the head twice today, in this environment, in this area. Babies is killing babies, and it's ridiculous. It's becoming, a state of emergency, so to speak. And everybody keeps asking, what can we do? What can we do?
Do your part.
Do your part.
Do your part. That's it. Whatever. What can you do? If you're a singer, sing it. Sing to liberate people. If you can write something that empower people.
Yeah.
But whatever it is you do, and I always say, I'm not going to ask my mechanic to fix my sink, and I'm not going to ask my plumber to fix my car. I hate when people get on television or radio and say, well, people need to do this, people need to do that. That's not their gift. That's not their talent. That's not only not their gift, it's not their talent. But what they can do is such a thing. But you minimize that because that's not in your paradigm of something considered worthwhile. But if people use whatever the tools they have, gifts, talents, to do what it is they believe they can do and contribute whatever it is they have to contribute, then we can get somewhere.
We all got to work together trying to make, our society better. Some people may say, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. He ain't never been to jail. But I'm a humanitarian. So I have, empathy and feelings for my fellow man. So why can't I help you? Or why can't I help them? So if everybody, stopped thinking about what I did, or I did this, or I did that, and, try to, go back to we. This is the city of brotherly love. Where they at? Where all my brotherhood? Where's the brotherhood at? It's gone. It done left the building.
Right. And see, we have to create it. I was watching I think this was years and years ago, one of those I don't watch these things, but I was over somebody's house or something because I saw one of these talk shows like The View or something, and this lady and I don't even know what they were talking about, but one statement stood out in my mind, and this was years ago, I still remember the day, and she said, it's your culture, fight for it. I don't even know what they were talking about, but that one statement stuck out. This is our culture. This is our community. Fight for it. Things like this conference is fighting for your culture, fighting for your community. Things like, when people create these documentaries, they're fighting for their future. When they write letters of encouragement to prisoners or people in halfway houses, that's their way of fighting for their culture, for their community. And if we continue to everybody just keep fighting, it's a ripple effect, like you were saying. No matter where you are, if somebody in one state or you go to another state or whatever, there's a ripple effect to our actions. But I don't mean to filibuster. I don't mean to filibuster. But so what else is there you really want people that we haven't already discussed? You would really like people to know about this upcoming conference, and then give us the information about its whereabouts, time, and etc. one more time.
I would really like to know from the outcome of this conference the barriers that people have to hurdle that's dealing with recidivism. You'll have all the reentry leaders that you can handle in one room. Your voice is what matters. Tell them. If you don't think they're doing nothing, tell them. They're right there. Speak to them. If you need help, Yo, I need help. How can you help me?
Right.
Straight.
One more time, it's gonna be where, it's gonna be when, and is there a price?
Is that
associated?
I was going to ask you.
It is totally free.
totally free.
It is at Esperanza College of Eastern University. That's 4261 North 5th Street, Philadelphia, PA 19140 from 1 to 5. It is totally free. Come get a meal and let's talk about the issues.
You know what I like about it though? You decided that you wasn't gonna have a whole day long, like from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. because that is a little bit much.
That is
I
a
don't
little
know
bit.
why people, and I'm glad you didn't have it downtown. Two things, and I always say, I call them mistakes. They're not really mistakes, but two mistakes, quote unquote mistakes, that I see people make is they have them too long because the attention span is very short in the United States of America. Most of us haven't read a book in years. We listen to Audible. We ain't got this.
Right.
We got a 30-second attention span. You holding them for 10 hours. And the other thing is you're holding it where people don't have ready access to drive or whatever because they might don't want to catch a bus. So I'm glad of that you kept you're keeping it relatively short. Anyway, that's not short. Relatively, you know, enough where you can get what you need, and not so much that you're tired of being there.
And if you're wondering where 4261 North 5th Street is, that's 5th and Hunting Park. 5th and Hunting Park. It's right, the college is right on the corner.
Right on the corner. They got vendors,
There's
resources, food,
Plenty of parking.
plenty of parking, and it's free. Oh, shucks. 1 to
Parking's in the
5.
back parking lot.
Parking in the back parking lot. You hear that?
Back.
Shoot, that's what I said, back.
Yep, back. So,
Back.
what else? You can't miss it. You
miss
can't,
it.
like, hey.
So, if you listening to the sound of our voices,
Go
and
his.
you or mine,
Or mine.
or
Go
his,
ahead.
and you're saying, hey, I would like to know more. Even if this doesn't directly affect you, and it does indirectly in one way or another, but you know somebody, or you just want to go get some information, maybe you're interested in learning more about this segment of our population, you can come too. You know, if
Absolutely.
you're in reentry, right? Am I correct?
Absolutely.
And if you're in reentry, you're returning for whether it's been 20 years away, whether it's been 2 months you've been away, or whatever, whether you've been upstate or in the county. Give this thing a shot, and don't say, "Oh, man, I've been to a whole bunch of these things before," because each one is different. And this brother here has assembled a bunch of people. If you don't like one, you don't get along with one, there's others there. So that's not a reason for you not to come. Come on out, get some food. They got halal meat there. I'm gonna eat a pork chop myself. I'm only kidding.
Oh, my God.
Man, grease all over my face. We got some pork chop there. I'm being silly. I'm on my health kick, y'all, so I might not be eating any meat at all, but you know, come on out and support this brother, but not only support this brother, educate yourself. How about that? Educate yourself. Anything else on?
No, that's it. So, yeah, I can't wait till this so I can be a part of this, see this, so I can come back and talk about it.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it might be
yeah.
family members that have somebody coming home. It may be somebody's grandmother, it may be somebody's mother that has a son or daughter coming home. My main mission is strengthening the family and reunifying the family.
That's an
Yes,
important
that's a good
aspect,
one.
because when you come back, we leave from a unit, a family unit. We're born into a family unit, and when we come back, even if it's a dysfunctional family, most people who've been incarcerated, our families are just dysfunctional in one way or another. But you're going to return to them, and so I think incorporating the family is important. You should have said that earlier. I could have dove all into that. Yo, we need another hour. We have another. I got to get back to work, though.
That's another segment because that's one of my passions: strengthening the family and the fatherhood initiative.
We have to do that. Doctor, if people listening to this, hopefully they'll come out Saturday and
Oh, they
they'll
will,
give us
because they
some
all free.
feedback.
Everybody's free. No one has anything to do Saturday. I know, I checked. So they'll be
She
there.
checked your schedule.
Yes, I checked
So
everybody's
you can't
schedule.
come up with that. You know, I got
Nope.
2 jobs.
And it-
on
nope,
Saturday, but
mm-mm.
I'm gonna
Boss
try to
gave
make
you the
it.
day
I'm-
off.
I'm still gonna try to make. But if people wanted to follow you, and they wanted to keep up with you, not only for this event but future events. Maybe dialogue with you. Is there some way that they can contact you?
My Facebook is Dr. Trey TRE. Well, let me repeat that. It's DR TRE McNair MCNAIR.
Now, why do you put the minus sign in there?
Because Facebook, you can't put the dot.
I
So you
did
have to be
not know
creative.
that.
yeah.
And some people have DR connected to their name, so I put a minus sign in there so they would be separated.
I did not know you could not put the
Yeah,
dot.
you can't. Yeah,
Okay.
check them out.
And you tried that, Sony?
They got a nerve.
What happened?
They won't let you do certain things on
Yeah.
Facebook, but yet they'll sell my information. I gotta tell them that every time I play something with music, and they come back and say, and I'm sitting up here like I know the owner of the song, like, and then I throw in there, well, you sold my stuff, so then they put it back on. But I appreciate you coming on here. I really do, Dr. Tracy McNair.
Thank you.
I really do.
Thank you.
Finally.
Thank you.
It's been
Finally.
enlightening and informative. I appreciate
I
it.
can't wait till Saturday. Yeah, to see what's going on.
Are you both coming?
I don't know about him, but
I have to
he's
See, what had
free.
happened was,
But I would like to. So what I would have to do is, because Saturday is like crazy. Like today, I have to leave here and go back to work. I drove an hour here. I just want y'all to know that I drove an hour to get here, and I got to drive an hour back to Westchester. And this is what I'm saying is, I think Sony owed me some gas.
I sure
think she
do.
owed me some compensation here.
well, you do it for the passion.
No, that is not true. Don't even listen to that. That is not the truth.
Sometimes the work is free.
Okay.
I do it for love. That's my homie right there.
Amen.
You know, she called, I'm here.
I'm like, thank you.
They said, you
But
mean
it was
I
a
gotta come back?
pleasure.
We got an event. I'm coming back. I ain't leaving Sony by herself. But it was a pleasure, sir, and I've really enjoyed meeting you. But again, don't forget, we still have to come back to talk about that other topic, the family impact. Get
Most
into that
definitely.
more in detail. But
Most definitely.
what were you about to say? I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
I was going to thank you both for allowing me to come in and on your platform today.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Honor was all ours.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it-
it really
this is the,
was.
um,
I thank you, Nathaniel, because I reached out and I'm like, he was like, yes. Well, can you check? And I was like, yes. I was like, yeah, boy. Whew.
It was touch and go in the last
Yeah,
minute when they
yeah,
told
no.
me that we had a big event out there, and I had to come back. I said, oh, I'm going to have to call Sony. I can't drive it out. But I said, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. But look, this is really, people who do what you do, and it may not be reentry. It could be for the homeless. It could be for people with cancer. It could be with whatever the situation is. But people who engage themselves and some conscious effort to elevate other people, I think you're heroes. I think you're heroes. Keep doing what you do. Thanks for stopping by.
To God be the glory.
Amen. Always.
Amen.
Always.
Amen.
Because one plant, another may water, but it's God to give the increase.
Well, on that note, we're out.
We are
All
out.
right.
Thanks for having me again, Sonia.
Philly
Thank
Hot
you.
Radio.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Until next week.